Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. Alright guys, I'm back and it is November 28th, Thanksgiving for my American friends, and it's 10:39 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, what we're going to be doing is going over some Q-related news, and I know probably many of you will not get to this until tomorrow, because I know after you've had a big meal of turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and everything else that goes with it, you're probably snoozing right now. I know when I have turkey, I'm out for the count. So anyway, but I hope you all had a wonderful day and got a chance to spend time with family and friends and what have you. So anyway, I am going to be going over the news. Now, last night I did a video, and then I recorded a second video. It was well over an hour. And I thought, oh, that's a great video, because I was just in a very silly mood and chatty. And I thought, you know, for those that like chatty and silly, they'll like this video. But unfortunately, it was corrupted. So I hate it when your videos get corrupted, but I couldn't get it uploaded. So anyway, I'm going to touch on some of the things that I touched on in my second video that none of you got to see. And also go over some new news. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Now, I don't know if I'll have time to do two videos tonight. I've been out of town today, but I will definitely, I am planning on doing two tomorrow. And really, I've probably got about 3 or 4 videos worth of stuff to bring. So I'm not lacking for any material. That's for sure. Now, I do have some people to thank, but I will thank them at the end of the show. I appreciate people donating very, very much, because as you all know, I'm not monetized. I don't have anything on my channel, so it really does help. And yeah, I know there's lots of people that like to make it seem like YouTubers are making all this money. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's not. Maybe some are that have huge channels, but no, that's not the case. So it does help. Anyway, let's get right into the news. Now, I thought this was interesting from today because, as you know, probably, President Trump snuck out and went to Afghanistan and spent Thanksgiving with the soldiers and actually served them food. So I thought that was absolutely a wonderful thing to do, to give back to our military families or the military that can't be home with their families, most of them. So yeah, I thought that was wonderful. But here is, and somebody did this and I thought that this was good, fake news versus reality. Because when I was going through the news today, at first I saw, oh, well, Trump spent his time. I saw this. How is Trump spending Thanksgiving? Tweeting, golfing, and more. And this was by Jessica Kwong, who has since issued an apology. But she wrote this, and it kind of was all over Twitter. Everybody was picking it up and saying, oh, yeah, look at Trump. He's golfing again and tweeting and whatever. Well, and it says, as with any other day of the year, Trump will probably be tweeting or expressing his opinions in another way. On Thanksgiving Eve, Trump tweeted an image of his head on the body of Rocky. I mean, the press is going absolutely out of their heads with that. And I think it's hysterical. I really do. And you know something else I think? I think that Trump did this on purpose because he's a genius. I think what he did is he got all this chatter about the Rocky, his head being photoshopped onto the body of Rocky. And I like how the news say, oh, it's doctored. Who says doctored anymore? It's photoshopped. Anyway, so yeah, I think everybody knew it was doctored. I think that was the point. But of course, the press has I don't know, they're so out of touch with reality. But I think he did that because it actually blew the minds of all the liberals, because they were just so upset that he had tweeted his head on the body of Rocky. Oh my gosh. Well, because they were all making a fuss about that, I think they missed the fact that he went to Afghanistan. And I think that was the point. I do. I think that he put that out there knowing it would explode the liberal heads and he could just quietly go to Afghanistan and nobody knew anything about it. Yeah, until he was on his way back, actually. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. You gotta love the guy. But I think that is a very selfless way to spend Thanksgiving. He spent it with our troops. I noticed Melania on her Twitter account, she thanked our troops and thanked those that were away serving and couldn't be with their families. And I just think that that's, you know, a good thing to do. The right thing to do. So let's move on from that. I just never like to miss an opportunity to show you how much of a genius our president is and how low the press sinks. So anyway, let's go on to the next thing I have here from Lindsey Graham. He said, let me see if I have this right. Jerry Nadler is inviting President Trump to participate in the Judiciary Committee hearings after all the facts were gathered in Schiff's Intel Committee, where the president's team was shut out. Salem witches got a better deal than this. He's right. He's right. Well, maybe not, but, you know, I see where he's coming from. This is absolutely the worst travesty of justice ever. But you know what? Trump doesn't seem and the least bit fazed about it. So I think he knows something that's coming that we don't. Because I don't know of any person alive that would be facing what Trump is facing. I don't know how they could be joking and jovial and everything else, unless they knew that in the end, they would win. And why or how does he know that he's going to win? Because they have it all. And they have it all. A-L-L, all. Total. They've got it all. So I know I am tempted to worry at times, and I'm sure you are too, because I think, it seems like the liberals and the left are winning in some, and you think, how are they getting away with this? Well, I don't think they'll get away with it forever. Not forever. Milk and coffee. All right, and I shouldn't have milk, but, you know, what do you do? It's Thanksgiving. I got to have, you know, a treat. So, all right, Gordon, and this is the next one, and this is by a person going by the name of Text Trump to 88022. Gordon Sondland gave testimony in favor of Trump and then made adjustments to it. Now, after he doesn't fully comply with Schiff's narrative in public, 3 women magically come out of the woodwork to accuse him of sexual misconduct. Is nobody putting 2 and 2 together here? Well, whoever you are, text Trump to 88022. Yes, there are people putting 2 and 2 together. It's obvious. This is what they do to people that don't play their games. If you're not going to swing on their gate, they're going to come up with garbage and they're going to snow you under with it. And I think that is what they're doing to Gordon Sondland, because he deviated from the script and he embarrassed Schiff. So, yeah, all of a sudden, magically, 3 women come out of the woodwork accusing him of sexual misconduct. And you know what's so funny about this is that they're all, Schiff is probably the guiltiest person of all that. Schumer was he donated to NXIVM. He was on their whatever list of donors. All of these guys are in deep with this trafficking and everything else. But they're the ones pointing the finger at Kavanaugh, at Trump. Stormy Daniels, you could see through her. But people fell for it. Oh, yeah, he's guilty. He's guilty. No. It's craziness. Utter lunacy. And this by Rip Torn. Rip Torn. Gotta love that name. Oh my God, you idiot. The fake university was set up under your ex-commander and thief, Hussein Obama. And he's talking to Alyssa Milano, who is doing her snowflake, crying and everything, and she records herself crying. She's an actress, for goodness sake. She's not really crying. Anyway, she says, oh my God, ICE has arrested about 250 students who were enrolled at a fake university set up by ICE to lure in students. Yeah, you know what? I've since found out, as this person has pointed out as well, that that was set up under the Obama administration, not the Trump administration. So here's Alyssa Milano going, is crying and carrying on like an infant, and you can forgive an infant for doing that, but my gosh, woman, get a hold of yourself. And yeah, so Rip Torn says, oh my God, you idiot, the fake university was set up under your ex-commander and thief, Hussein Obama. Yeah, these people, but you know what, it doesn't matter, they'll still make it seem like it's Trump's fault. Everything's Trump's fault. Yep. And you want to know what else I found out? Do you know that they are literally making Trump appear orange? Because people who are taking pictures of an event, he doesn't appear orange. But when the media airs the same footage, he's orange. How do you explain that? They got to keep that narrative that he's crazy. That's crazy orange man. Orange man bad. But yeah, he's not orange like they make him out to be. Yeah, he's, I believe I read somewhere that he has a tanning bed, and, his eyes here are white because he puts on the glasses. All right, so what? He tans. Big deal. Get over it. All right. At least he's married to a real woman. Which is more than we can say for the last president. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I don't think we need to go over this because I think this is pretty old news by now that the new House Judiciary Committee announces first impeachment hearing next week. That should be interesting. Not. And also, I think you've probably all heard this by now as well, but I'm just going to touch on it. I'm not going to read it all, but President Trump said in an interview Tuesday that he will designate Mexican drug cartels as terrorists over their role in drug and human trafficking. This is a huge development in the fight against the narco trafficking organizations and will open up federal government resources to target the drug kingpins that have amassed hundreds of billions of dollars in their illicit operations. And since he has designated them now as a terrorist organization, he can seize funds, which I'm sure he's already done. And when you seize their funds, when their funds dry up, well, they're not so much interested in it anymore. And so I think that is part of the deal. They can go in and seize funds. Now, I'm surprised. I haven't heard anything yet from the liberals about this, from the Democrats, but I'm sure it's coming, that they will make this seem like it's a bad thing because, a lot of them, especially those guys in California, are tied in with the drug cartels. So that's dipping into the Democrats' pockets now. And don't think they'll be happy about it. But if they say anything about it, they're going to look pretty stupid. And it's going to be transparent, because if they start speaking out about it, people are going to be like, well, why are you sticking up for drug cartels? Well, we know why they would. So anyway, I'm not going to go through and read all that. It's done. It was Tuesday, November 26th, and most of you have probably heard this already. But it is important to know. Sorry, get out of here. And I'll get out of here. No Q post for today. Q is, I'm sure, home with his or her family. Now, somebody wrote to me, or wrote it on the comments, saying, do you not realize, why do you call Q a he when clearly it's a team of people? Well, because what am I supposed to say? They? I don't know. I just call him a he. I mean, and I used to always say he, she, they, them, but that gets pretty tiring. So I just call him a he. I know it's not just one person. So yeah, I'm not that stupid. really. All right. Now, so this we've already heard about, the 250 foreign students. They set up the fake university, but of course that was not under the Trump campaign, as I thought it was. It was under the Obama admin, or it wasn't under the Trump admin, but under Obama admin, and they set it up for the express purpose of trapping foreign students who were not here legally. And they did. They arrested 250 foreign students. And it was a fake university in Metro Detroit. Well, I say, you know what? The more things we do like that to trap the illegals, I don't have a problem with legal immigration because I am a legal immigrant. You know, I don't have a problem with that. If they come, you know, to America and they're properly vetted and they're going to fit in and learn the language and, you know, contribute, pay their, you know, taxes and contribute to making America great, or keeping America great, then yeah, by all means. It's the illegal ones, you know, it's just like, I'll invite anybody over to my house. Well, I mean, within reason, but I don't want somebody to break in because, you know, it just makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if you invite somebody in, you give them full hospitality. Hey, welcome, you know. But if somebody's breaking into your house, yeah, you're not so, you know, if I invite you in or you knock at the door and whatever, and I invite you in, I'll feed you. I'll give you great hospitality. I'll give you anything you need within reason. But if you break down my door or you come in illegally and steal my stuff, yeah, I'm going to report you. I mean, it's crazy, but all right. All righty, now let's look at this right here. Okay, now be prepared. Be prepared because this is, it's interesting stuff. That's putting it very mildly. Schiff is terrified of video allegedly in custody of the FBI. Tor Lumered. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. Tor Lumered. I mean, Loomer, what's her name? You know who I mean. What is her name? Laura Loomer? No, that's not right. Anyway, she's the one that broke this. Representative Adam Schiff's behavior and his rabid attempts to impeach President Trump is motivated by self-preservation. Many anticipate that the long-awaited IG report by DOJ IG Horowitz that will be released between today, November 20th, and December 11th will include, well, actually it's coming out on the 9th, will include criminal references for Schiff, even though this may indeed be true, considering he has lied, betrayed his oath of office, leaked, and possibly orchestrated an elaborate covert surveillance sting on the president or his staff. This is not what has Schiff shifting his pants. In January 2019, a second man was found dead in Ed Buck's home in West Hollywood within a 2-year span. In fact, in July 2017, he was cleared of any liability of the death of the 26-year-old gay male escort, Jamel Moore, when his body was found in the same apartment as the victim in January 2019. The death was a result of an overdose of crystal meth. In July 2019, the death of the second male revealed something very interesting. Apparently, investigators reopened the case last year after Moore's friends and family raised concerns that his political connections might have contributed to the decision. It was reported that Buck's attorney, Seymour Amster, that told NBC News that Buck wasn't in custody and hadn't been charged in connection with the man's death. He said the man was a longtime friend of Buck's who asked to come over. Sure. Ed was reluctant, but the friend was insistent, so Ed allowed the friend to come over. A little while later, the friend began exhibiting bizarre behavior, and that prompted Buck to call 911. Sure, we all believe that. And Seymour Amster told NBC News, Buck is a high-profile millionaire Democratic benefactor who has contributed and bundled large amounts of cash to Democrats, including Schiff, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris. The list goes on and on. It's no secret that Ed Buck and Adam Schiff are very close friends. In fact, Schiff invited Buck to many of his own parties, and Schiff has attended many of Buck's parties. Schiff is known for throwing themed parties. In fact, his 50th birthday party had a Hawaiian theme. Schiff is pictured with one of the guests below. That's a pretty young guest to be going to an adult birthday party. I'm just saying. Our exclusive source, a Democrat staffer, tells us that Patty, Schiff's campaign manager, personal assistant, mom, fixer, unofficial chief of staff to everyone that comes in contact with Schiff, keeps details of all events that Schiff attends. Our sources confirmed he had attended parties at Ed Buck's home many times for special events, among other big names in California. On Saturday, June 1st, 2019, Buck's home in West Hollywood was searched and items were seized. Our source says that on Monday, June 3rd, 2019, Schiff turned up to the D.C. office demanding that everyone find anything they could about deep fake videos. And remember, he was texting about that, tweeting about that as well. About, these deep fake videos, they look so real. And I mean, right then I knew, okay, something's up. Somebody's got something on Schiff that they're threatening to pull out, and he's getting way ahead of it. And that appears to be the case. He was very irate and seemed obsessed. He asked us to locate prominent experts that could debunk challenged videos as deepfakes and experts on video metadata. He was obsessed and demanded that we have reports and names with interviews set up almost instantly. He said, "You find an expert, run every check you can on him, find everything. I want to know every skeleton they have." We were told by our sources that during the warrant execution at Ed Buck's home that was awarded without his presence, electronics such as phones, personal computers, tablets, and other hard drives were imaged in the seize. A warrant can be signed off by a judge allowing detectives to enter your home without you present and leave no trace they were there. It's an undercover search warrant. Apparently, Schiff was tipped off by a longtime former FBI friend who now works at Charles Schwab that the FBI may have seized video footage and pictures of Schiff that could ruin his life. Rumors of Schiff, dressed like an Egyptian god, as well as other guests going to Ed Buck's home, have been circling the internet. Our sources tell us that his affinity for dress-up parties isn't the source of his stress. The alleged video depicts Schiff engaging in horrid acts with Buck, Bob Corker, other politicians, and prominent figures at the Standard Hotel. Well. Hensel, Adam Schiff in 2009, my friend, Dr. Bruce Hensel. Hensel was just arrested for asking 9-year-old for sexual photos. And Laura Loomer, that's her name. I think that's it. So, no, it isn't. If what our sources tell us is true, Schiff's behavior is expected, and evidently he's on borrowed time. Corker resigned, and maybe Schiff would like to do the same. His deepfake awareness is pretty blatant. With all this push and a video coming out, it would be hard not to say, you knew about this and you were mitigating. He keeps retweeting and reminding Twitter that they have been told to make sure deepfake videos don't circulate, as if Twitter has some magic formula to know what is real and what is fake. His tweet on November 16th, 2019, that has been invading all feeds was prompted by a certain event. According to our source, who works closely with the prosecutors involved in Ed Buck's case, it had to do with findings. Buck's hearing was pushed back to 2020 instead of being heard on November 26 due to new findings. Adam Schiff, at Representative Adam Schiff, new technologies like deepfakes, utterly convincing and yet completely fraudulent videos and audio, give Russia and other malign actors new ways to disrupt our elections. Right, it's the Russians. Yeah, it's the Russians that made up a video of you doing horrible things. Yeah, Adam, we really believe you. Certainly we do. Recently, Schiff has turned the Capitol into a circus, bringing in witness after witness that have literally witnessed nothing. He created enemies, but with friends like Bob Corker, Ed Buck, and Dr. Hensel, who needs enemies? If I were Schiff, I would be applying for citizenship in New Zealand like Comey did. Historically, Australia and New Zealand was where the Crown would send their criminals to. They would moor a boat and just set them loose. I hope he has his expert deepfake debunkers on speed dial, even though they will be useless. Is Schiff ready to challenge FBI evidence? His borrowed time will tell. Right now, we need him to keep doing what he is doing to ensure a landslide victory for President Trump in 2020. So that is that. I believe, yes. So, what do you think of that? Well, actually, I suspected that as soon as I saw his video about the deep fakes. I thought, okay, this guy's getting in front of something. There's something coming. There's something out there that he knows is out there, and he's worried that it's going to leak. It's going to leak out. And it will. It will. Maybe not the video, but we'll hear about it. Okay. Well, let's go on. Oh, yes. Let's look at this, shall we? Because this I found disturbing, to say the very, very, very least. Twitter's terms of service explicitly allows pedophiles to discuss attraction towards minors on their platform. How do you like that? Yeah, no conservatives. We don't want conservatives. No, if you're going to talk about Trump, or, you're for Trump, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna shadow ban you, and we're gonna put you in Twitter jail, and we're gonna do all these things to you. But if you want to talk about, pedophilia and how you're attracted to children, well, that's all right. We don't have a problem with that. So this is 3 days old now, but in case you haven't heard it, it is worth hearing. Social media giant Twitter has quietly amended their terms of service to allow for discussions related to attraction towards minors to be allowed on their platform. Discussions related to child sexual exploitation as a phenomena or attraction towards minors are permitted, provided they don't promote or glorify child sexual exploitation in any way. Okay, so I guess they're going to just discuss about how much they are attracted to children, how much they are sexually turned on by kids. And yet they say, oh, well, as long as you're not, glorifying child sexual exploitation in any way. Well, what else are they doing? Of course that's what they're doing when they're talking about it and saying, oh, yeah, I come on. What is wrong with these people? It's like black is white and white is black. The Bible says that in the last days, men will call good evil and evil good. Well, we're in that time. And I remember reading that many, many years ago when things were a lot more sane. Probably not any more sane. It's just that I didn't know about everything that was happening in the world. I remember thinking, how could somebody get away with calling good evil and evil good? Well, they're getting away with it every day now. And that's exactly what they do. If you're good, if you're trying to live a good life and you're called evil. It's like the Christian bakers that wouldn't bake a cake for a homosexual couple. That's their prerogative. It's their religion. But you know what they don't say? They don't say that they went to other Muslim bakers and the Muslims wouldn't make it for them either. But that wasn't an issue. It was just the Christians. They were the ones that were, homophobic and everything else. Go figure. So, Twitter noted that they would allow for nude depictions of children on their platform in certain instances. Yeah. Artistic depictions of nude minors in a non-sexualized content or setting may be permitted in a limited number of scenarios, e.g., works by internationally renowned artists that feature minors, they added. Right. That makes it all okay, I'm sure. And Cantor wrote a letter. Okay, let me see here. Where did we go? Okay, Twitter's pro-pedo policy may have been implemented at the behest of Dr. James Cantor, who describes himself as a proud Jewish homosexual. Cantor is a leading researcher and advocate for pedophiles, who he refers to as minor attracted persons. Essays have called me doctor, professor, and even sir, but I'm proudest when they just say a Jewish homosexual. Cantor wrote a letter in January 2018 to John Starr, who works as Director of Trust and Safety with Twitter. With other university academics, the letter urged Twitter to allow pedophiles to network and discuss their attraction to children on the monolithic social media platform. Many of us have worked with a group of such non-offending pedophiles, also known as anti-contact minor attracted persons, in a peer support network called Virtuous Pedophiles. Yeah, VERPEDS. As well as in other support networks, they wrote in their letter. You know something? What happens if, okay, I know it's not a perfect analogy, but let's say that, you know, you're on a diet and you know that you shouldn't eat certain things, but you keep thinking about it and you keep thinking about it like, oh man, I just really want a piece of cheesecake, man. Oh, I can't stop thinking about it. That creamy texture. Oh, I really want cheesecake. Well, how long do you think it's going to be before you seek out a piece of cheesecake somewhere? Not long. Well, it's the same thing. You got a bunch of men, you know, or well, maybe women, who knows, sitting around talking about how much they're turned on by children. How long do you think it'll be before they offend if they haven't already? Really? And you know, when you get them together, they all talk about where to go, how to find, all that, how not to get caught. Just unbelievable. Anyway, they argued that denying pedophiles a place on the social media platform may lead to these so-called virtuous pedophiles acting on their impulses to sexually Oh, okay, I see. If Twitter tells them that they can't talk about it on Twitter, they'll just go offend. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? All right, well, I've had enough about that. That's just sickening. All right, now, all right, did you know this? Now it's starting to, I should have brought this a couple days ago. I really should have, but I didn't. But did you know, okay, so let's look at this. Wrong fuel caused plane crash that killed Tampa surgeon, NTSB says. I know, you're saying, so? I mean, we care. Anytime somebody dies, we care. But, you know, who's this guy when he's not at home? Well, we're about to find out. Tampa, Florida, a plane crash that killed a well-known plastic surgeon from Tampa over the weekend was caused by the wrong kind of fuel being put in the plane, the National Transportation Safety Board said Thursday. This guy is an avid pilot who has a ton of experience. Yeah, I think he knows what kind of fuel to put in his plane, don't you think? Dr. Daniel Greenwald was flying a Piper Aerostar 602P in central Indiana on Saturday when he crashed in a field. The 59-year-old died from blunt force trauma in the crash. An Indiana coroner said, yeah, that's what happens when a plane careens out of the air. Yeah, blunt force trauma. That would be a nice way of putting it. According to a report released Thursday by the NTSB, the plane crash happened shortly after Greenwald left Kokomo Municipal Airport. Greenwald flew into Indiana that morning from the Peter O. Knight Airport in Tampa to provide training to a customer based at the Kokomo Airport. NTSB officials say jet fuel was put into the plane Greenwald was flying instead of the regular aviation gasoline that should have been used. 8 on your side spoke with aviation expert Captain John Cox, who tells us jet fuel would have caused the engine to quit. According to the NTSB report, the airport employee who fueled the plane said he asked Greenwald twice if he wanted jet fuel. The employee claims Greenwald said yes both times. However, Greenwald was an experienced general aviation pilot with hundreds of hours of flight time experience who would have known the effect that jet fuel would have had on the plane's engine. Captain Cox added that no pilot would ever say yes to putting jet fuel into that specific plane. The airport employee told NTSB that he asked if he wanted jet fuel because the airplane looked like a jet. Yeah, talk about inexperienced employee. Wonder how long he had worked for the airport. Yeah. The airport employee told NTSB investigators that he put about 163 gallons of jet fuel A from a fuel truck. He says he heard the engine start up shortly after and claims they sounded typical. Well, if he's so inexperienced that he doesn't know which gasoline goes in what plane, then how would he know what sounds typical? Would you trust him to know what sounded typical? I wouldn't. Greenwald crashed just after 4:30 p.m., about 3.6 miles away from the airport, the report says. The examination revealed the presence of a clear liquid consistent in color and odor with that of Jet A in fuselage tank and in the fuel lines leading to the fuel manifolds of both engines, the NTSB report states. Investigators who examined the plane after the crash also say several engine spark plugs showed damage consistent with detonation, which shows the engine was not running normally. Greenwald owned Bayshore Plastic Surgery on East Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. He was known among his fellow physicians for tackling cosmetic surgery cases that others had deemed too difficult to perform. And who was a friend and patient of his? Jeffrey Epstein. Wonder if this guy did work on him to change his appearance at all. Just saying. I don't believe that. I mean, they admit they didn't do a DNA test on the body. Hello? They don't know. How did they know? Or maybe this guy did work on another dead body to make it look like Epstein, because you can sure tell that that body in the stretcher is not Epstein. It had a hook nose. It had different ears. So who knows what's the truth? But I just think it's a little odd, don't you? Who puts the wrong... Have you ever heard of that happening? I've never heard of that happening, ever. So how inexperienced did this employee have to be to not know what kind of fuel goes in what plane? Jet fuel goes in jets. You know, that's why they call it, I don't know, jet fuel. Oh, it sounded typical. I don't know. He told me to put it in there. Right. Right. Sure he did. So... yeah, something really fishy up with that too. And this was in October. When did Jeffrey Epstein not kill himself? I don't remember now. Let me see. Let's look this up now. I'm curious. Death of Jeffrey Epstein. August 10th. Cause of death, suicide. Sure, we all believe that, don't we? Oh, sure we do. So, August, he doesn't die. And then, or if he does die, he doesn't kill himself. And then this guy in October, that's 2 months later, dies in a very, very strange plane crash. I'm just saying. So, I don't know, but there's something there. You can't tell me there isn't. All right. Well, let's go back now because there's more. I know, always more. All right. Well, and look at this. I'm sure you've heard this by now too, but hey, I just want to talk about it. Hunter Biden's baby mama, London Roberts, was stripper at a club he frequented. He's a classy guy, isn't he? What a classy guy. Yeah. Yep. So it's not enough that he left his wife, married his brother's widow, cheated on her with this woman, got this woman pregnant. Such a classy guy. Yeah, like, why? Why? This guy's no prize. The woman suing Hunter Biden for paternity was a stripper at a Washington, D.C. club he frequented. Around the time he was dating his brother's widow, sources told the Post, Biden was repeatedly seen at the Empire Club in the capital's historic DuPont Circle neighborhood, where London Alexis Roberts, the mother of his alleged love child, worked under the stage name Dallas, the sources said. And he's such a liar. He's such a liar. He was well known, a source said of Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden, the Democratic frontrunner to challenge President Trump next year. Oh yeah, some challenge. It'd be like, having a battle of the wits with an unarmed man. Anyway, several Empire workers said they recognized Roberts, 28, who last week filed court papers that say DNA testing proved Hunter, 49, fathered the child she gave birth to in August 2018. Roberts worked there around the time she got pregnant, and when Hunter broke up with former sister-in-law Holly Biden, the widow of his brother, the late Delaware Attorney General Beau Biden, sources said, Roberts' husband and wife lawyers, Clint and Jennifer Lancaster, didn't return repeated phone calls and email messages seeking comment. A receptionist at the Benton, Arkansas law firm said they got them. The Empire Club is about 3 blocks north of D.C. strip joint Archibald's Gentleman Club, where the Post previously revealed that workers suspected Hunter, who has a history of alcoholism and addiction, of smoking crack in a VIP room in late 2018. Once a crack addict, always a crack addict. In a New Yorker profile published July 1st, Hunter claimed he hadn't been to a strip club in years. Oh, really? Before Page 6 exclusively revealed his relationship with Holly and details of a divorce filing against him by then-wife Kathleen Biden after the expose was published on March 1st, Hunter said, I went directly to a strip club. I said, F them, according to the New Yorker. Yeah, I guess when you get your divorce papers, I guess the first thing you think of is, I'm going to a strip club. That incident at Archibald's, which came after Hunter's most recent admitted drug use, a crack binge during the fall of 2016, occurred while he sat on the Ukrainian board of natural gas company Burisma, the job for which, we don't need to get into that, but where is it here that he is denying? When shown a photo of Roberts and asked, she ever went there with Hunter, the valet replied, honestly, I can't say, but Hunter Biden has been here with brunettes and blondes. Empire workers said they were unable to recognize a photo of Biden, although a bartender say she may have seen him there. And let me see here. I'm trying to get to this part. Roberts filed her paternity suit against Hunter in May, less than 2 weeks after he married second wife Melissa Cohen, following a whirlwind 6-day romance. 6 days. 6 days. So let me get this straight. He was married to his first wife. She divorced him. He starts dating his dead brother's wife. His sister-in-law starts dating her, but cheats on her with a stripper and gets the stripper pregnant. And then he has a 6-day whirlwind romance and remarries another woman. He's a prize. What a prize. Yeah. So this is the part that kind of made me laugh. In his New Yorker profile, Hunter denied having sex with Roberts. Well, then how did your DNA end up in her? I'm just saying, But agreed in October to undergo DNA testing. Roberts' recent court filing said he's not expected to challenge the results of the DNA test or the testing. Well, if he's swearing he didn't have sex with her, why wouldn't he challenge the results? I don't know. These guys, the only thing they're good at is lying. Really. Roberts graduated from Arkansas. Well, we don't care. We don't care. I just hope she gets her child support. I do. You know, because I'm sure Hunter Biden has a lot of money hidden somewhere, probably, you know, offshore somewhere in the Virgin Islands. Just saying. Okay, let's go back now. No, let's. Okay, I've got so much, man. I got so much, and I want to bring it all of it, every bit of it. All right, so this is the part about Twitter, and we've covered that, so let's just scrap that. This by A.G. William Barr, except it's not the real A.G. William Barr. It's just a parody account, but they post good things, so I follow them. And he says, we could literally catch Hunter Biden red-handed snorting cocaine with a rolled up $100 bill taken from a pallet of cash flown to Ukraine with the words U.S. aid to Ukraine written on the side of the pallet, and the left would say, there's no evidence Hunter Biden did anything wrong. That is so true. So true. Yeah. And then there's this. Now this is old by now, and I'm not going to go into it, but Maxine Waters is claiming that Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, lacks the intelligence to be HUD secretary. Dr. Ben Carson, yes, the neurosurgeon. Not just a doctor, he's a neurosurgeon. Not only is he a neurosurgeon, he is the first doctor to successfully separate co-joined twins. The first. But yeah, Maxine, he lacks the intelligence to be HUD secretary. Yeah, right. Get some help, Maxine. Really, get help. Run, don't walk. Run, get help. Seriously, you're a menace to yourself. All right. Now, what else can we get to? It's 11:25 if you're on medication. And if you're not on medication, why the heck aren't you? I don't know what I'm saying. I have so much to get to. Oh, okay. This is the last thing I'm going to get to in this video because I want to get this uploaded because I know you're all sitting around stupefied by turkey, stewing in your own juices. I don't know what I'm saying. I really don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, you know, you're, what am I saying? I have no idea. I lost my train of thought. I think before it even got out of my mouth, it was gone. So I don't know what I was trying to say, but it mustn't have been important, or it could have been a lie. All right, let's go. Where was I going to look? Oh, yes, right here. This is interesting. You got to hear this before you nod off from the turkey. FBI agent. Now, this is not new news, okay? But it's interesting news. This was November 5th. FBI agent who exposed Hillary Clinton cover-up found dead. Isn't everyone that exposes Hillary Clinton? Don't they all turn up dead? Usually suicide, you know, by shooting themselves 5 times in the back of the head with the wrong arm. Just saying. An FBI special agent who was anticipated to expose the extent of Clinton and Obama malpractice and corruption in the Operation Fast and Furious cover-up before a U.S. federal grand jury has been found dead in his home. FBI official's wife was also found dead at the scene, with the couple both being murdered using the 52-year-old agent's own gun. Special Agent David Rayner was stabbed multiple times and shot twice with his own weapon, according to local media reports. Rayner's tragic death comes one day before he was due to testify before a U.S. federal grand jury. How many people do have to die before she's brought to justice? Really? She should get, I mean, I don't know of any other person who has killed this many people or been responsible for the death of that many people, including those poor men in Benghazi. It's disgusting. And all the children she's trafficked. Who knows the real number that she has murdered, really, or been responsible for their murder. It would probably astound us all. Like, it makes me wonder, she's on the level of all great mass serial killers. Really, she is. Rayner's wife, Donna Fisher, was also found dead at the scene. You had to kill his wife too? Like, really? An autopsy will be completed to determine the exact cause of death, according to police. According to the Baltimore Sun, authorities who are offering a $215,000 reward for tips in Suter's killing have struggled to understand what happened. Well, it's not hard to understand. It's a hit job. The detective was shot with his own gun, which was found at the scene. 2 other shots were fired from the gun, and Davis said there were signs of a brief struggle. Special Agent Rayner's suspicious death is the latest in a sequence of disturbing deaths in Baltimore connected to the Clinton-Obama cover-up of Operation Fast and Furious. When President Trump took power, the U.S. Justice Department opened another investigation into Operation Fast and Furious as it pertained to the Baltimore Police Department and impaneled a U.S. federal grand jury. One of the main witnesses was Detective Sean Suter, an 18-year veteran of the FBI. However, Detective Suter was gunned down in November in eerily similar circumstances to Special Agent Rayner, also one day before he could testify. Special Agent Rayner was leading U.S. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's and FBI Director Christopher Wray's investigation into the murder of Detective Sean Suter. Rayner believed Suter was silenced before he could testify that the Obama administration was criminally complicit in allowing guns to flow into the hands of criminals on the Mexican border. These guns were involved in the murder of U.S. federal officer, among others, as is seen by investigators as the Achilles heel of the Obama regime. The murder of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry is one of but a very few Obama administration crimes that have no statute of limitation, as it involves the killing of a U.S. federal officer. Leaked WikiLeaks emails also prove Hillary Clinton was fully knowledgeable about the crime, thus making her liable to criminal charges. Last week's bombshell Inspector General's report have exposed yet more Hillary Clinton and Obama administration crimes. The report that was released last Thursday reveals the FBI had discovered evidence that Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation had committed sexual crimes against children. The report also shows that Obama lied to cover up parts of these investigations that exposed child trafficking. However, the IG report proves that the evidence of these crimes has been covered up and swept under the carpet by those acting at the highest levels. You know, if they take out Hillary, I think that they will take out a giant arm of the deep state. Really. I honestly, I know that there have been women serial killers. They're extremely, extremely rare. In fact, I think I can only think of one that I know of. I'm sure there's others, but it's rare. But how does a woman get that callous and that cavalier about bumping people off? There was the guy that was in Haiti, and he was an official there. He was testifying against the Clintons, and he flew to, I'm not sure where, but somewhere in the States to testify. And then he's found dead the night before the testimony. He's found dead in his hotel room. Suicide. Ruled a suicide. Leaves a suicide note. Now, who gets dressed up, packs all their luggage, kisses their wife goodbye, gets on an airplane to testify, and then kills themselves in the hotel room? You tell me. It's and the list goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. So anyway, that is the end of this video, but I will be back tomorrow. So I'm going to get this uploaded, and I hope that it is all okay. Let me just skip over here. It's still recording, so woohoo. The lighting looks weird tonight, doesn't it? Oh well, it's It's a little late to worry about it now. Okay, so that is going to be it for tonight. I hope you... Oh, wait, I've got to thank people. I can't let that go. My gosh. So these are the people that donated to coffee. Rob from the UK. Thank you so much, Rob. And John... and thank you for the information, John. I will look over it. I haven't had a chance yet. I've been out of town today, and so when I got back, everything was concentrated on catching up with the news and so forth. But I am going to look over what you sent me. Thank you. And Melanie Winans from Maryland, and David, aka Socratic Method. Thank you so much. And Joanna, also Gary Bentley, and Linda Woodward. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it more than you know, believe me. So I do appreciate it. And we picked up a new Patreon subscriber, Els Van Braban. I hope I pronounced your name right, but I love your first name, Els. I love that. Anyway, thank you so much for your support. And I do have a notice that I have a package to pick up. So snail mail. Probably tomorrow I will have at least one snail mail, so I will let you guys know. Thank you guys so much. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, and I am so thankful for the freedom that we have, and that we live in a land of peace and plenty. Well, at least, I guess not always peaceful, but compared to a lot of other countries, the U.S. is a land of peace and plenty, and freedom still lives in the U.S., and I hope it will forever. So thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. So stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth. You know, your turkey didn't kill itself. I'm just saying, your turkey didn't kill itself, and neither did Epstein.